This week in Ohio Country Today, our feature stories are from the Girding family farm in Glandorf, Ohio. We're there for their annual Farm Safety Roundup, a two-day event where they bring in hundreds of third graders to talk about farm safety. We'll have those feature stories and more this week in Ohio Country Today.
It's a humble idea. Use a biological process to turn a plant into a power source. From that idea came the first Poet refinery. One biorefinery in one town turned into 27 facilities in 27 towns, creating new local jobs, producing hundreds of millions of gallons of ethanol, and providing renewable products around the world. Suddenly, that one little idea seems a whole lot bigger. See the world differently with Poet.
Alan Davis, business owner, active farmer. No one knows farmers' needs better than Alan. Give him a call today at 419-738-7447 and talk about total farm protection and more. Alan Davis Insurance Agency is your solutions provider for auto, home, life, business, recreational, total farm protection and more. Call 419-738-7447. That's 419-738-7447.
Take control of your spraying with Hardy, available at your local Apple Farm Service. Match spraying rates instantaneously to your RPMs with the Dynamic Fluid 4 technology, or have the boom raise, lower, and tilt automatically with the Auto Height system. Visit your local Apple Farm Service to learn more.
Your outdoor fun starts here at Dad's Toy Shop. See us today for all of your favorite remote control land, air, and watercraft, and so much more. Dad's Toy Shop in downtown Wapakoneta is your one-stop shop for all of your hobby needs. Rodock and Midway Trailers are Ohio's premier Thunder Creek dealers for fuel trailers and DEF delivery systems. Thunder Creek offers versatile, reliable, and best of all, legal transportation and handling for fuel and DEF systems. Let us know how our teams at Midway Trailers in Rodock can get you set up and ready any time of the year. For fuel and service trailers, economy trailers, service and lube trailers, double wall trailers, split tank trailers, bulk DEF trailers, and standalone DEF systems for trucks. Remember Rodock and Midway Trailers, Ohio's premier Thunder Creek dealer, with 3 locations to serve you in Delphus, St. Mary's, and Dayton. Welcome back to Ohio Country Today. Big Dan Wilson alongside our Ruth Girding. And Ruth, we're at this beautiful event that you have on your farm, Ruth and Max Girding's farm here in Glandorf, Ohio, for a Kids Safety Day. It's an annual event that you do, and boy, what a great event it is.
It is, and we've now had 22 years of it. Wow. We started it in 2000 rather, and of course COVID, we had to delete 1 year, but we've been the last 2 years trying to catch up. We've had third graders, originally that was it, but we have now had third, fourth, and fifth to catch up so everybody can experience the day.
Was it always a 2-day event? Because it's a 2-day event now.
Yes, it always was. We do half-day sessions, but the one big difference from when we started in 2000 is we've added more programs. Originally, we started with very basic ones, chemicals, water, pond safety. We did PTO and tractors, lawnmowers, some very basic ones. And since then, we've added ATV because the kids are on four-wheelers. I'm amazed at how many kids do drive four-wheelers. We have that added. We've also added grain entrapment. We've added sun poisons. And Mercy Health also does a little bit on using bicycles safely. And so we've been expanding it.
Wow, it's really cool, too. You know, there's so many people that are involved in this. But one of the things I got to tell you that I found is that some of your presenters were young enough to go through it themselves and to be here presenting today. How cool is that?
You know, it's really neat because you never know on these kind of things what kind of effect you're really making on people. It wasn't that many years ago, I had the pizza man delivering here, and he got off the porch. He goes, wait. He looked at me, he goes, I've been here for this farm thing. And at that time, he was 18, and it made me feel good. And I asked him, I said, what did you learn? What did you take? He goes, I learned this, this, and this. And I thought, you know what, if we can keep them retaining 3 or 4 or 5 things over the years, That's great. But we have had, we have one today, Ann Downing, who's presenting, and she also participated when she was a third grader. So it's nice that we are able to continue that. Plus, we have the Miller City FFA, and they have been here all the years. And of course, all the ones we have right now, they have been here as third graders. So they kind of just pick up where they left off as a third grader. So it's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, why the age group, though? Is it because they're so impressionable and that it's an age group that some will remember? Or how did you end up choosing third graders?
Well, I know at the time I was working at the health department, and I know the fifth grade experiences a soil and water conservation day. And I thought, okay, doing back-to-back years may not be as receptive. So I thought, third graders, I know from experience from my own kids and now my grandkids, they're starting to get on some of this equipment. And they're also at a great age because they're still listening. And they go home and they chatter for a long time, because I've had many parents tell me, I finally, after a couple weeks, said, I think I was at Farm Safety with you. I've heard all of the sessions now. So I know it really impacts them. So third grade's still very impressionable, and they're very teachable.
You know, one of the things, too, that I think is important is the fact that it's something that, whether they're on the farm or off the farm, it's safety that can apply no matter where they go. Even if they have a farm and bring guests to the farm, it's important for these kids to know what to stay away from and to know the hazards every time they walk into a rural environment.
Very true, and I would say 95 to 97% of these don't live on a farm anymore, but they are all around lawnmowers, they're around four-wheelers, they're all around water. They are around electrical, they're around so many of the things that we teach, the chemicals, the poisons, sun safety. These are all everybody does. But the grain entrapment and the tractor PTO, combines, they're very limited with that. But they learn enough to respect it. And if nothing else, what we're hoping is when they come across this equipment on the road with their parents, or better yet, when they're driving, that they okay, I know this is serious stuff, that I got to respect it. Right. So you don't have to be on the farm to enjoy the day.
And the experts that you have here at each station, why don't you give a shout out to all the fine people that are presenting to these youngsters today?
Well, you know what? As I tell everybody, I set the dates, and I don't even hardly do that much anymore. Our son-in-law takes over the farming, so it's kind of his show. But everybody is so committed to it. We have Extension, we have Ag Pro, we have Mercy Health, Paulding Putnam, Ag Credit, the Soil and Water Farm Bureau, Extension, Sheriff's Department, Miller City FFA, all the principals, all the teachers, they're on board. Yesterday when I had to cancel, I had a teacher say, I've got kids crying, they can't come. So I know it's making an impact in our community. What impact, I'll never know.
And we have to encourage other communities around the Buckeye State, and for anybody who's watching this throughout the United States, that this would be a great thing to have in your community. And getting people behind it is probably the easiest thing to do, because it's something that's definitely necessary out there, right?
Very true. And if anybody needs anybody to give a testimony, I'm telling you, I got a bunch of teachers. I have a couple teachers that have been here all 22 years. So I know the principals. When I started this, I asked a couple of them, you think you'd be interested? And soon all 13 local schools, elementary schools, were on board. I highly recommend it because the kids buy into it, the adults buy into it, and it really is a program that's fun, and they cover so many topics. We have them evaluate at the end. The kids love, and they go over this and they go over that because it's hands-on, and there's nothing better to teach a third grader than hands-on.
Oh, well said, well said. And any time that we can save a life on the farm at any age is a positive thing. Ruth, thank you so very much for what you and your husband Max do. and presenting this event to the community. And once again, if people want more information, there's probably a couple different avenues they can go, maybe the Putnam County Extension as well.
Certainly. They can contact really any of our county agencies. The EMA, EMS are very instrumental in this. Our Extension office is instrumental. Soil and Water, the Sheriff's Department, they all can get a hold of me. And I offered today, and I'm passionate enough about this. I would help others get this started. Once you get your locals on board, it sells itself. It really does.
Well, Ruth, as always, thank you so very much for joining us.
Thank you.
And thank you so very much for what you do, too.
You know, it's not a job. It's something I enjoy doing.
Very good. And we enjoy being here and sharing that with you. We'll be back with more in Ohio Country today, right after this.
Our farm department is committed to providing ag professionals the products, coverages, and peace of mind needed to run a successful operation. With our home office located in the heart of farm country, many of us have firsthand experience when it comes to farming, and we know how to take out the risk. Under one policy, we can provide total protection of your investment, from your home and barns to your equipment and livestock. We also provide an outstanding equine coverage, from a homeowner with a single horse to a professional breeder and everything in between. Come join us and experience the Celina difference.
Closed captioning paid for in part by the following. Dye Real Estate and Land Company specializes in farmland and recreational land throughout Ohio. A company for people who enjoy the rural lifestyle and looking to buy or sell their land. All of our land agents are members of the Realtors Land Institute and have extensive experience in farming and agricultural land business. At Dye Real Estate and Land Company, we'll work with you to tailor-fit a plan that works best for you, your family, and your investments. Our services include 1031 tax-deferred exchanges, land brokerage, land auctions, and CMAs and valuations for estates and planning. We are Dye Real Estate and Land Company. Call us today and visit our website at dyerealestate.com. Dye Real Estate and Land Company. We know the land business because we live it every day.
Nobody has the lineup of rolling baskets like Unverfirth. 6 different models from 12 to 63 feet to firm, penetrate, and finish soil to the perfect conditions. Check out the full lineup of Unverfirth rolling baskets at your local Apple Farm Service.
St. Mary's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has award-winning vehicles for both on and off the farm, and our Ag Pack incentives give you a powerful package of farm and ranch discounts and incentives worth thousands of dollars absolutely free. Stop by and see Dave Haggard today, your ag commercial specialist, and ask about the vehicles, discounts, and incentives in the St. Mary's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Ag Pack.
You get straight talk, real service, and the right price. St. Mary's Chrysler, you get straight talk.
Welcome back to In Ohio Country today. Big Dan Wilson alongside of Jeff Giesecke, and Jeff is with the Putnam County Soil and Water Conservation District. Nice to have you back on the air with us, Jeff.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Well, we're here at the farm of Ruth and Max Girding with this incredible Farm Safety Day for kids. Let's talk a little bit about what you're doing to educate these kids about farm safety.
All right, so on my stop, we're doing chemical safety. So we take empty chemical jugs, we put on this glow-in-the-dark powder, and we're in the shop over there, so we cover all the windows, and we shut the lights out on the kids. So it's pretty well dark in there. And then we take these black lights and shine it on their hands after they handle these jugs. And it's amazing, Dan, where the chemical ends up, the quote-unquote chemical, it'll start out on their hands, and then it ends up on their neighbor's shoulder, and it ends up on their nose, and you shine these black lights, and the idea is to hammer home that point that when you get the chemical on your hands, it just doesn't stay on your hands, right? It moves to whatever else you touch, and we want to make sure the kids, we understand that they're not going to be mixing chemicals, but maybe plant a seed for them that they remember. Oh, you know, 3rd grade safety camp, I remember Jeff talking about chemical safety, and absolutely. Yeah. So
yeah, you know, the cool thing about this is the fact that more than just being on the farm or visiting a farm, this kind of training, this kind of safety tip, if you will, for these youngsters can be applied at home anytime, right?
Right. Yeah, we're planting those seeds. We understand the kids won't be doing the work now, but they may in the future, and trying to plant that seed. Education, right? It's about the education.
Well, let's talk about our farmers. What do they need to do to kind of make their farms safe from kids, too, when it comes to chemical safety?
Well, sure, and we touch on that too about when you're mixing chemicals. Always have the container of fresh water readily available if you have a spill. You want to be able to wash up. We mentioned the fact of the farm can be a dusty, noisy place at times, and if they're moving around the farm, they always need to be making eye contact with the farmer. If they're operating equipment, if that farmer's not looking at you, I mean, you may see them, but if they can't look at you and you make eye contact, that's always, we're always pushing that. Always make eye contact with the folks that are operating the equipment.
Yeah, we also want to talk about, it's not necessarily chemicals, but in our livestock producers on those farms, there are vapors that play a part in safety that our kids need to know about, and our farmers need to know to keep those kids away from that. We've had some dangerous incidences, if you will, recently, especially down in Mercer County, and we need to take these things seriously, don't we?
Right. Yeah. Those are tragic. You lose people, but you lose family members, and then they're running that operation. So, like that situation we were talking about, boy, that just devastates a family, and it devastates the small business. Now who picks up those pieces, So yeah, that's definitely huge. Yeah.
Yeah, when we talk about farm safety too, there's more than just what's happening on the farm. The chemicals that you're talking about, we talk about applying those to the residents. It's also interesting to note too that some of these chemicals look the same as regular candy or regular products that you would see. Let's talk about the similarities and the hazards that accompany that.
Yeah, I know Mercy Health, they're doing a stop specifically about that, where you have a Tide Pod that looks just like, something, Easter's coming up, so we have candy that, looks like our detergents, looks like, the orange cleaner. I mean, if you just saw that on a table, if you put it in the wrong bottle, you could put it in a Gatorade bottle and they look the same, So yeah, that's Mercy Health is doing that also. So that is another stop here. Yep, important.
And your regular full-time job in Putnam Soil and Water Conservation, one of the big topics, obviously, we're always talking about is the H2 Ohio program. Let's give our viewers a little bit of an update. Since Putnam County falls into that Lake Erie watershed, that western basin of the Lake Erie watershed.
Right. Yeah, so from our office standpoint, we just finished up some payments on some of the practices. The finished up practices from last year, the cover crop payments, some of them NOR payments, the small grain payments, we've made those now. Now we're looking forward to this spring for application of fertilizer. So the producers need to know they need to get their nutrient management plans. Who's ever writing their nutrient management plan, have that in place so that they can document what they're applying, where they're applying it, so that they stay in line with these practices, and then they can get paid later on this year and then next year. And that H2 Ohio program, one of the specific best management practices is subsurface placement of phosphorus, getting your phosphorus below the soil surface. Research shows that if we can get the fertilizer below the soil surface, drastically decreases the amount of runoff.
And firsthand, since Putnam County falls into this area that's known as the Great Black Swamp at one time, it's so flat up here, it's hard to get that water runoff. You guys have done a terrific job here in Putnam County, but I want to talk about some of the other counties in the area in handling that runoff and making sure that things are captured and monitored on a regular basis. I know that Central State University, along with Ohio State University, are doing some great things in monitoring that runoff. What are you guys doing in Putnam County, and what have you seen here in Northwest Ohio?
Okay, so right, yes, the runoff. There's an H2 Ohio program where they do the water quality incentive program where there's money paid for producers who want to put in wetlands, reestablish a wetland, and then capture some runoff into that wetland, use that as a treatment area, and then that water runs out of the wetland. So we're doing that. Our district, every month, we have a technician that goes out and samples area streams. So we've been doing that for almost 3 years now, getting some baseline data on what our streams are doing. We've noticed that if you take the storm events, so we track the storm events too, so we track flow, and then we also track the amount of the nutrients in the water samples. And when you overlay those two graphs, they're almost identical. So we know that this is a transportation issue. So holding the water on our land is going to go a long way in trying to keep our nutrients out of the waterways.
Well, Jeff Giesecke has been our guest from the Putnam County Soil and Water Conservation District. And Jeff, if people want more information about what you're doing up here in Putnam County, where do they go?
So they can go to Putnam SWCD. That's our website. Check us out on Facebook. We have a Facebook page. And use those social media outlets.
Yeah, we'll have a link to that site as well at inohiocountry.com. Jeff, thanks for joining us.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
And we'll be back with more In Ohio Country today right after this.
Our farm department is committed to providing ag professionals the products, coverages, and peace of mind needed to run a successful operation. With our home office located in the heart of farm country, many of us have firsthand experience when it comes to farming, and we know how to take out the risk. Under one policy, we can provide total protection of your investment, from your home and barns to your equipment and livestock. We also provide an outstanding equine coverage from a homeowner with a single horse to a professional breeder and everything in between. Come join us and experience the Celina difference.
Take control of your spraying with Hardy, available at your local Apple Farm Service. Match spraying rates instantaneously to your RPMs with the Dynamic Fluid 4 technology, or have the boom raise, lower, and tilt automatically with the Auto Height system. Visit your local Apple Farm Service to learn more.
Pushita Creek Steaks, naturally delicious, antibiotic and hormone-free, from fresh grass and grain-fed, free-to-roam cattle. Pushita Creek is a family-owned and operated 210-acre free-range ranch right here in Ohio, and we take the time to custom-fit your order to exactly what you want. For steaks, roasts, hamburger, pet treats, gifts, freezer boxes, and much more, check us out on the web at PushitaCreekSteaks.com. That's PushitaCreekSteaks.com.
Take control of your spraying with Hardy, available at your local Apple Farm Service. Match spraying rates instantaneously to your RPMs with the Dynamic Fluid 4 technology, or have the boom raise, lower, and tilt automatically with the Auto Height system. Visit your local Apple Farm Service to learn more.
Your outdoor fun starts here at Dad's Toy Shop. See us today for all of your favorite remote control land, air, and watercraft, and so much more. Dad's Toy Shop in downtown Wapakoneta is your one-stop shop for all of your hobby needs.
Welcome back to In Ohio Country today from the farm of Ruth and Max Girding in beautiful Glandorf, Ohio. Big Dan Wilson alongside of Sheriff Brian Siefker. And Brian is the sheriff up here in Putnam County. Brian, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Yeah, we're talking about kids' safety today, but what I wanted to talk to you about is farm safety in general. It's that time of the year when our farmers are getting ready to get back out in the fields, and some of the things that they need to remember to be safe on the farm.
Yes, we want to remind farmers, safety on the farm, including your own safety. Just keep an eye on what's going on. There's going to be a lot of farm equipment on our roadways. I ask people, please be patient. The equipment's getting bigger, and it's hard for them to maneuver some of this equipment. So please be patient while they're on our roadways.
One of the things that we're looking at right now with high gas prices, high fuel prices, there could be a lot of dangerous things happening out there with people wanting to steal that fuel. So what are some of the things our farmers need to do to protect those assets?
I ask that our farmers please keep their bulk tanks secured. If they have equipment that they're keeping out in the fields, keep an eye on that. Mm-hmm. I've also asked my deputies, to do the same. Keep an eye on our farmers. Their bulk tanks, their equipment that they have out in the field, so people aren't stealing fuel with the prices of fuel nowadays.
And most of our farmers definitely have some kind of a handgun or a rifle on the farm. We want to talk about kids' safety today, but obviously when it comes to having guests over to the house or having other family members that aren't familiar with your residence, you need to protect and make sure you secure those, don't you?
That is correct. We do ask that our farmers, which a lot of them do have firearms, they secure those firearms, whether it be in a safe or some type of lock. Keep them out of arm's way of children and unauthorized people. What I do is recommend that they take a hunter safety course, or when they do go out shooting, make sure that you have an authorized or you have an adult or someone out there to teach them how to shoot it properly. There are clubs out there that offer education on these shooting clubs. So what I suggest is check with some of your clubs around your communities and get them involved in those shooting programs.
Now, of course, the weather's changing, and obviously there's a lot of activity with planting season. That means the barns are open, the farms are open, the doors are open, but our farmers need to be aware that there are thieves coming off that interstate in some cases, or coming down those country roads that wouldn't hesitate to steal anything that they possibly can. So what are some of our farmers, what do they need to do to protect their valuables, and especially on the farm?
I recommend that they keep things locked up. Also, make sure that there's plenty of lighting around their barnyards. And then, somehow put an ID on your tools and stuff. That way, if they are stolen, you have a way to identify them.
And security cameras are a lot cheaper than they used to be, right?
Yes, they are. Security cameras, they're not as expensive as they used to be, and they're pretty reasonable price. So that's another option that you have.
Sheriff Brian Siefker from Putnam County has been our guest. Brian, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
And we'll be back with more In Ohio Country today, right after this.
Alan Davis, business owner, active farmer. No one knows farmers' needs better than Alan. Give him a call today at 419-738-7447 and talk about total farm protection and more. Alan Davis Insurance Agency is your solutions provider for auto, home, life, business, recreational, total farm protection and more. Call 419-738-7447. That's 419-738-7447.
Nobody has the lineup of rolling baskets like Unverfirth. 6 different models from 12 to 63 feet to firm, penetrate, and finish soil to the perfect conditions. Check out the full lineup of Unverfirth rolling baskets at your local Apple Farm Service.
Rodak and Midway Trailers are your source for Wilson Livestock Trailers. Reliable, lightweight, and durable, Wilson Livestock Trailers are your best value year after year. With attention to animal and operator safety, Wilson offers biosecurity and features more attuned to the needs and concerns of today's livestock haulers. Remember Rodak and Midway Trailers for sales and service of Wilson Livestock Trailers, with 3 locations to serve you in Delphus, St. Mary's, and Dayton. Hey, that's going to do it for this week's edition of In Ohio Country Today. Big thanks to Ruth Girding and the Girding family for having us for their annual Farm Safety Roundup, an incredible opportunity to educate young children about the hazards on the farm. They do a terrific job. Look forward to seeing them every year. And once again, if you want more information about what they're doing, you can always check us out on the web at inohiocountry.com. You'll find not only a link to our Facebook page, our website, but also our podcasts. So once again, join us as always on inohiocountry.com. Have a good day, everybody.